The Red Sea, a historic waterway connecting civilizations, has been a witness to countless stories of human endeavor and tragedy. On February 3, 2006, it bore witness to one of the most harrowing maritime disasters in recent history. The MS Al-Salam Boccaccio 98, a roll-on/roll-off ferry, embarked on what would become its final voyage. As it sailed across the waters, an unforeseen catastrophe awaited. This maritime disaster claimed the lives of over 1,000 people, making it one of the deadliest peacetime sinkings in history. The loss was profound, leaving families and communities in mourning. The Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 serves as a stark reminder of the importance of maritime safety regulations and the human cost of their neglect. The vessel's tragic end underscores the need for stringent safety measures. The sinking sent shockwaves across the world, prompting investigations and legal battles. Questions were raised about the ferry's seaworthiness, the adequacy of its safety protocols, and the actions of its crew. The events leading up to the sinking, the rescue efforts, and the subsequent inquiries all contribute to the tragic tale of the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98. The rescue operations, though valiant, were fraught with challenges. This essay delves into the history of this ill-fated vessel, exploring the factors that contributed to its demise and the lessons learned from this catastrophic event. Through examining the sequence of events, we aim to understand the broader implications for maritime safety and the enduring impact on those affected. The Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 began its journey as a luxurious cruise liner. Christened as the Moby Prince in 1970 by an Italian shipbuilding company, it was designed for leisurely voyages across the Mediterranean Sea. The ship boasted comfortable cabins, restaurants, and entertainment spaces, catering to a discerning clientele seeking a taste of la dolce vita. However, the ship's tenure as a glamorous cruise liner was relatively short-lived. In 1981, it was sold to a Saudi Arabian company and renamed the Gufar. This marked a turning point in the ship's life, as it transitioned from the world of luxury travel to a more utilitarian role. The Gufar continued to operate in the Red Sea, ferrying passengers and vehicles between Saudi Arabia and Egypt, a vital maritime link between the two nations. Under its new ownership, the ship, now renamed the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98, underwent several modifications. These changes were not just cosmetic but structural, aimed at transforming the vessel to meet new operational demands. These alterations were primarily aimed at increasing its passenger and vehicle capacity to meet the growing demands of the busy Red Sea crossing. The ship's operators saw an opportunity to maximize profits by accommodating more people and vehicles on each trip. Decks were added, and existing spaces were reconfigured to accommodate more passengers. This meant more cabins, more seating areas, and more amenities to attract travelers. The ship's interior was overhauled to make room for these additions. The car deck, originally designed for a limited number of vehicles, was expanded to hold a larger volume of cars, trucks, and cargo. This expansion was crucial for the ship's new role, as it needed to transport not just passengers, but also their vehicles and goods. While these changes increased the ship's revenue-generating potential, they also raised concerns about safety. The modifications were extensive, and there were questions about whether the ship's original design could handle the new load. The original design, intended for a cruise liner with a lower passenger load, might not have been suitable for the increased weight and stresses of a heavily laden ferry. The ship's structure was now under more strain than it was ever meant to bear. These modifications, coupled with alleged deferred maintenance and lax safety standards, set the stage for a potential disaster. The ship's operators were focused on profit, possibly at the expense of safety, leading to a precarious situation. On February 2, 2006, the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 embarked on what would become its final voyage. The ship, a modern marvel of its time, was a symbol of progress and connectivity between nations. It was a routine journey, one that had been made countless times before, but this time, fate had other plans. The ship departed from the port of Duba, Saudi Arabia, bound for Safaga, Egypt, carrying over 1,400 passengers and crew, and a substantial cargo of vehicles. Families waved goodbye, unaware of the impending disaster. The atmosphere was filled with excitement and anticipation for the journey ahead. As the ship navigated the Red Sea, a fire broke out in the vehicle deck. The initial signs were subtle, just a wisp of smoke here and there, but within moments, the situation escalated dramatically. The exact cause of the fire remains disputed, with theories ranging from an electrical fault to an unattended cigarette. Investigators have pored over the evidence, but the true origin of the blaze remains a mystery, adding to the tragedy's haunting legacy. The fire spread rapidly through the vehicle deck, fueled by flammable cargo and the ship's outdated fire suppression system. The flames consumed everything in their path, turning the vehicle deck into an inferno. The crew struggled to contain the blaze, but their efforts were hampered by a lack of adequate firefighting equipment and training. Panic set in as the crew realized the gravity of the situation. Their training had not prepared them for a disaster of this magnitude. As the fire raged out of control, the ship began to list dangerously. The once stable vessel was now at the mercy of the flames in the sea, tilting precariously as passengers and crew fought for their lives. The race against time had begun, and the odds were not in their favor. Section 5. The ship vanishes. Desperation in the depths of the Red Sea. With the fire spreading and the ship listing severely, panic ensued among the passengers and crew. Passengers desperately tried to escape the inferno and the sinking vessel, but their options were limited. Lifeboats were reportedly either inoperable or insufficient for the large number of people on board, and life jackets were scarce. Many passengers were forced to jump into the dark, unforgiving waters of the Red Sea. The ship, engulfed in flames and taking on water rapidly, sank beneath the waves within hours of the fire's outbreak. The exact location of the sinking, approximately 50 miles off the coast of Egypt, placed it in deep waters, making rescue efforts even more challenging. Section 6. A slow and inadequate response, the search and rescue operation. The response to the disaster was marred by delays and confusion. The Egyptian authorities were slow to react to distress signals, and the search and rescue operation was hampered by poor coordination and a lack of resources. Valuable time was lost in the crucial hours after the sinking, diminishing the chances of finding survivors. The search efforts were further complicated by rough seas and strong winds, which hindered the deployment of rescue vessels and aircraft. When rescuers finally reached the scene, they were met with a heartbreaking sight: a vast expanse of debris, oil slicks, and the lifeless bodies of passengers, many still clad in life jackets. Section 7. Unraveling the truth, investigations, trials, and lingering questions. The sinking of the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 sparked outrage and grief in Egypt and beyond. The Egyptian government launched an investigation into the disaster, which revealed a litany of safety violations and negligence. The investigation found that the ship was operating with expired safety certificates, had inadequate fire safety measures, and was overcrowded at the time of the sinking. The ship's owners and several crew members faced trial on charges of manslaughter and negligence. The trials were lengthy and complex, marked by emotional testimonies from survivors and families of the victims. While some crew members were convicted and sentenced to prison, the ship's owners largely escaped serious consequences. Section 8. Lessons unlearned. Parallels to other maritime disasters. The tragic sinking of the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 stands as a stark reminder of the importance of maritime safety regulations and the devastating consequences of their neglect. The disaster shares chilling similarities with other maritime tragedies, such as the sinking of the MV Doña Paz in 1987 and the MV La Jula in 2002, both of which resulted in significant loss of life due to overcrowding, poor safety standards, and inadequate emergency response. These tragedies underscore the need for stringent enforcement of safety regulations, rigorous inspections, and a culture of safety within the maritime industry. The lessons learned from the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 and similar disasters must serve as a call to action to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. Section 9. Legacy of a Tragedy. Remembering the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98. The sinking of the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 left an indelible mark on the families of the victims and the maritime community. The disaster serves as a solemn reminder of the fragility of life at sea and the importance of prioritizing human safety over commercial interests. The memory of the Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 continues to resonate, prompting ongoing discussions about maritime safety, corporate responsibility, and the need for justice for the victims of preventable tragedies. The Al-Salam Boccaccio 98 may be gone, but its story remains a poignant reminder of the human cost of complacency and the enduring need for vigilance in ensuring the safety of those who travel the seas.